What I'm about to show you should be honestly locked in a vault because this is the exact checklist we use to run Facebook ads that actually work. Not just get clicks, I'm talking real leads, book calls, and sales on autopilot. And the craziest part, almost nobody is talking about this stuff. You probably heard that Facebook ads are dead, CPMs are at a sky high, and it's not even worth running Facebook ads anymore. That's only true if you're winging it. So in this video, I'm giving you a full Facebook ads checklist that you can use to help scale and optimize your ads. The real one we actually use inside of our agency, Great Marketing AI, to scale campaigns profitably. I'll break it down step by step and I'll show you why 99% of businesses mess this up before they ever hit publish, because one tiny mistake like the wrong campaign objective or a pixel not optimized correctly can nuke your results before your ad even sees the light of day. And if you stick with me to the end, I'll show you the sneaky step almost everyone skips, and it's the reason most ads never make it past break even. All right, let's dive right into it. So this is the exact checklist that we use inside of our agency, and we've iterated on this. We added stuff, we removed stuff. So this is the current and latest version of our checklist. So phase one is the pre-launch. This is the stuff that most people skip, but it's super important. This is where we set the chessboard. Right? You have to first define what is your campaign target. What's your actual goal? Is it leads? Is it calls? Is it sales? What's your KPI for your CPL, your CPA, your ROAS, right? You want to define all of your targets even before you launch your campaigns. The next thing you want to do is run a competitor analysis, right? Go to the Facebook ads library, look at what your competitors are launching. Have 3 competitors, have a link to their Facebook ads library and see what they're doing, right? This is going to give you an idea even before you launch your ads of what's out there in the market. Look at what other offers are out there. What are they saying? What kind of creatives are they running, right? Look at all of that. And then the next thing we do is create a marketing dashboard, right? So we want to make sure that we have a dashboard where we can easily see all of our analytics and all of our targets for our ads. And these are just 2 simple ones that are often overmissed, especially if you're new. If you're running Facebook ads, you're usually going to run them both on Facebook and Instagram. And people think that most leads are going to come from Instagram, but it's usually 50-50, or even in some cases, you'll get most of your leads actually from Facebook. But if you're only focused on Instagram and you have your Instagram bio and profile photo, but your Facebook page looks terrible, that's not a good sign. Because at the end of the day, when people click on your ad, they're also going to go to your profile. They're going to go to your Instagram. They're going to go to your Facebook. They're going to go to your website. They're going to search you up. So you want to make sure that your brand looks aligned. This sounds basic, but sketchy profiles will kill your trust instantly. Step 2 is we get to the campaign and strategy part of things. This is where most go wrong. This is the boring part that makes or breaks your entire campaign. Right off the bat, one of the things we like to do is set an account spending limit just in case you accidentally, put your daily budget as, instead of it being $10, you put an extra 2 at the end and you're spending $1,000 a day, and then you have this big bill, and you want to make sure you're not overspending. So make sure you set an account spending limit. Make sure you select the right campaign objective, right? This part's really important. So when you're creating your campaign, is it a sales campaign? Is it a leads campaign? Are you just trying to drive awareness? You want to make sure the objective is correct for your target and your goals. This is an easy one, but it's basically you want to make sure your campaign, your ad set, and your ad are named following some type of standard convention, right? This is going to make it easier for you to analyze and test your ads, not just test 1. For your ad, don't just put test 1 or 01 or 02. You'll thank me later. One thing I like to do is for my ad, I'll use the first few words in the video as the name of the ad. Or if it's a static or an image, I'll use the headline as the name of that. And I have a whole video on campaign structure and strategy, but one thing we like to do is use ABO for testing. It gives you more control, and then use CBO for scaling appropriately. That way we let Meta use their AI algorithm to scale our ads, right? So we have ABO for testing and CBO. So we have ABO for control and CBO for scale. And then here's another one. You want to make sure that when you're running ads, you have your column set up appropriately with the right metrics so you can actually analyze your ads. So we make sure to set up custom columns in each ad manager so we can have all of the metrics that we need to properly scale campaigns. And I have another entire video on the exact columns we use. This is an easy one, but make sure that especially if you're running some type of lead form ad, that the leads from Facebook are actually ending up in your CRM. So make sure that the lead form is mapped, and if you're using Go High Level, I have a full video on how to map lead forms with Go High Level and how to test it to make sure that the leads actually end up in Go High Level. Ensure only one destination type per campaign. In your campaign, you shouldn't be sending traffic to a lead form and then in some other ad sets sending traffic to a landing page, right? Make sure that that campaign is either a lead form campaign or a landing page campaign. One destination per campaign. Make sure that your lead form fields are mapped to your CRM. Make sure that you tested the lead forms using dummy data, using the lead testing tool. Don't use Meta's built-in A/B testing. Do A/B testing yourself. Trust me on this. Make sure that you're using a daily budget instead of a lifetime budget, and unless you're doing some type of special testing strategy, but in general, daily budget is where to go. Phase 3 is the overlooked gold mine, audience targeting. You need at least 3 audience variations such as broad, interest, lookalikes, right? Don't just stick to one audience. And you want to make sure that you create a retargeting audience with website visitors, people that are viewing your video, people that are engaging with your Instagram or Facebook. And you want to make sure you create those audiences. You also want to make sure that you create a lookalike audience based on high value customer lists or website activity. And another thing, you also want to double and triple check that you're targeting the right location for your offer based on geo, income, age, etc. You also want to set up proper exclusions. You also want to make sure that you're excluding specific audiences such as, your customers. If you have a product that you only sell once to a specific customer, you want to make sure that you're excluding that list so you don't show up and just waste your ads on those people. For your top of funnel audiences, you want to make sure it's at least a pretty decent size. 500 people is pretty decent size. I would even push that to 1 million to 2 million. For top of funnel, you want to make sure that the audience is actually big enough, and you also won't fatigue super fast. Another bonus is you want to make sure that you save all of these audiences that you're creating in your ad set. It's going to make it easier for you to keep everything organized. But it's also going to help you check the audience overlap, and I have a separate video on checking audience overlap. Make sure to click the links that I'm showing above here. They have all these other, but that's going to help you and save you a lot of time and help you optimize your ad. For another win, you want to make sure that your retargeting ad set is not in your CBO campaign. And why not? If your retargeting ad set is in your CBO campaign, then in a CBO, basically Meta tries to use the budget whatever it thinks it's going to optimize for and what's actually going to come. In that case, your which is your middle of funnel ads might not get any spend because this other ad set is getting all of the spend and it's winning, right? We want to make sure we separate that, not in the CBO campaign and its own campaign or ABO campaign, but really you can just separate that into its own retargeting campaign so it's easier for you to manage and analyze the results. And then audience overlap. That's why I said you should save all of your audiences. Once you save them, you can check audience overlap, and you want to make sure that they're under 30%. So audience A and audience B aren't so similar where they're competing. Phase 4 is your creative test. This is one of the most important parts. When it comes to creative testing, one thing I like to do right off the bat is turn off automatic placements, right? If you have automatic placements, Meta's just going to put these in like the Instagram Explorer and all these other different places. You're really not going to get the most conversion. So turn off automatic placements. Avoid running dynamic creative ads. Yeah, you can get some results and you can test really fast with dynamic, but it's harder to analyze those results and figure out which one of those ads and combinations was actually the one. And when we write our ad copy, we'll have different types of angles, right? So one of them is going to be a more logical, one of them is going to be more emotional, one of them is going to have, use different frameworks. So that's the way we like to launch our ads. So then that way we have variations to see what's get us the most. Turn off multi-advertiser ads unless you really need it. Ensure at least 5 unique creatives are active. You want diversify your creative formats like video. test the carousel ad, test static ads. You always want to, and this is another pro tip, is resize your creatives depending on the format. So if it's, on the, then you are probably by 1080, but for the story formats, if you have a 1080, you have that little, space blocked off on the top and the bottom where it's going to not look the cleanest. So you want to make sure that you resize and turn off in-stream and search and all of that. Phase 5 is optimization. This is where the winners pull ahead. Here's the thing, only change one thing at a time. Don't go in and optimize everything, right? Otherwise, you'll never really know what actually winners. If you watched our campaign strategy video, right, we have our ABO testing campaign and our CBO campaign. When you find your winners, duplicate it into your CBO campaign, but only duplicate it with the winning headline, the winning primary text or ad copy, right? Don't just bring all of that in, bring in the winning headline, winning ad copy, winning creative, and then also the winning audience. You want to make sure that duplicate it into your CBO. Don't just go and throw that winning creative in all of the different audiences in your CBO, right? It's winning ad in that specific ad set, targeting that specific audience. And another thing, you want to make sure that you kill the loser. We want to make sure that less than 20% of our ads are delivering in the learning phase. You'll get more consistent results. You want to make sure that there's accurate schedule data and 3 or more winning creatives, audiences, and copy into your scaling CBO ad set. When it comes to optimizing your ads, you want to make sure you're looking at your CPL, your CTR, your thumb stop ratio, your ROAS, or your ROAS. This is also where most ad accounts go to die because nobody knows what to optimize for. If you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never be able to scale your ads. Phase 6 is tracking. This is the hidden secret to winning ads. You want to make sure that GTM is installed and verified on all site pages. This GTM, I have a separate video on this. There's going to be a bunch of links around here. GTM is going to make it so much easier for you to set up all your custom events, all your standard events. Just do it, set up GTM. You'll also want to make sure that you set up CAPI gateway with something like Stape. This is going to be the easiest solution for you to get CAPI installed and get both browser and server events to your pixel. Separate video for this. I have a lot of videos for all of this. This is super important because the more your pixel is optimized with the right data, the more it's going to be actually track who's actually the best type of customer and lead for your ad. You also want to make sure that you set up UTM parameter for all your ads. This is super important, especially when it comes to analyzing all the data and the results. You want to make sure that your page view events are getting browser and server side data. So if you go to your pixel and your events manager and you look at page view and it's only browser, that's not what you want. And guys, this is the unsexy stuff that quietly saves you thousands over time, right? This is what's actually going to help you scale your ad. So another thing you want to do is, especially for people that are running some type of lead gen campaign, they focus solely on cost per lead. You want to make sure that you're getting schedule data, schedule events to your pixel, and you also want to make sure, this is a tricky one when it comes to lead gen, but you also want to make sure that you get purchase event data back to your pixel. And one way you could do that is through offline conversions. I have a separate video for. Let's just say they're a dentist, right? They get a lead from an ad, and then a month or two later they purchase and they become a client. Meta doesn't know that unless you tell it and you upload that data. So you can do that through offline conversions. You can also make sure to set up CAPI with their CRM. So that's super important. These are also good ones to set up is, custom events for 50% scroll depth on your site or 30-second website views on your site. You could do that with GTM. And you also want to make sure that your forms are collecting these UTM parameters as using something like a hidden. And this is another setting that people often overlook. You want to make sure that you turn on automatic website matching in the pixel settings. So if you go to your pixel, go to settings, scroll down, turn on automatic website matching. And the last part is the landing page. You want to make sure that your landing page is optimized, right? Check website, super crucial, Even with our website recently, we started adding a bunch of stuff. We added like videos and stuff like that, and we realized it was slowing down our website a lot. That's also going to affect your ad performance, especially if you're sending traffic to website. So yeah, that's the checklist. It's not sexy. It's not some hypey hack, but this system works every single time. And if you want this same exact checklist, click the link below and we'll share it. You can copy it over for free. And if you want our business to run your ads and optimize them all done for you, literally going through this checklist and making sure that you're at 100% optimized, and book a call with our team at Great Marketing AI. We'll audit your entire setup and show you exactly how to scale. And hey, if this video gave you value, do me a favor and hit the like button so the algorithm shows it to someone else who's still winging their ads. And in the comments, tell me where you usually get stuck with Facebook ads so I reply to every single one. And make sure to not miss this next video coming up, and I'll catch you on the next one.